Hello, good day everyone. So today we will be discussing the Module 6 Lesson 2, which is all about criteria in choosing appropriate assessment tools. But before we start, let us all read our learning objectives. So by the end of this lesson, you will be able to first examine the appropriate assessment tools for classroom use. Second, review existing assessment and check if they fit 21st century learning needs. And lastly, describe the type of measurement that should be used for effective evaluation. Let's define what is assessment method. So what is assessment method? So assessment method is the strategies, instrument, tools, or techniques we use to collect information. So its main purpose is to determine how will the student have achieved the desired learning outcomes. So in simple words, it is how we measure what students know and what they can do. So the question is, the correct answer is false. Why? Because it is not just about giving grades. It helps the teacher to know if the student really understand the lesson. So not just that. So it also guide the teacher on how to teach better. Now let's move on to the appropriate assessment tools. So why is choosing the right tool so important? So first, the teacher need tools to select tools that directly measure whether the students have mastered the target learning outcomes. The second one, every student is different. They have different strengths, challenges, and learning styles. So, the assessment must be flexible enough to cater to these differences, to cater the differences of the students. So, the last one, we must always remember, or the teacher must always remember the purpose of the assessment. So, when it comes to selecting tools, we also keep three main factors in mind. First is the goal of assessment. So, what do we want to achieve? The second one, method of assessment, will be direct or indirect. The last one, interval of assessment. How often we will check the learning or the learning of the student. So the question is, the correct answer is yes, because if we do not consider their differences, some students might not be able to show what they really know or can do. So we need to consider the differences of the student when it comes to selecting or choosing our assessment tool. Now, let's look at the two types of assessment method. This is a direct method and indirect method. So when we say direct method, this requires students to show or perform what they have learned directly. So we measure their knowledge or skills by seeing them to do it or produce an output. Like for example, the written exams, assignments, oral presentation, performance tasks, portfolios, and research works. And when we say indirect method, this is when we collect information by asking students to reflect on their learning, skills, or behavior rather than demonstrating it directly. So we are asking for their views or experiences. Like for example, the student satisfaction surveys, feedback forms, exit interviews, and reflection papers. So the question is, good job. The correct answer is false. A written exam requires students to answer and show what they know directly. So it is a direct assessment method. Now let's move on to the characteristic of good assessment tools. So whether you use traditional tools or technology-based one, your chosen assessment tool must have this important characteristic. So first, it must measure exactly what you want to check or the desired level of performance. The second one, it is practical and cost-effective in terms of time, efforts, and resources. The third one, it must be useful. The result should help you make decisions to improve teaching and learning. The fourth one, it is accurate and truthful, giving a real picture of student performance. The fifth one, it is dependable and consistent. It gives the same result even if it used at different times or by different teachers. The last one, it is must ongoing. Assessment is not done just once, but it is a continuous part of teaching and learning process. So with technology today, ICT-based tools are very helpful. They allows us to give feedback quickly, and they make learning more accessible and interesting. So my questions is, answer is both, because a good tool must be consistent and reliable so we can trust the result we get. What is rubric? So rubric, this is the most important tools we use. So this is a set of criteria to score the assignments, products, or performances. It makes grading clear, objective, and fair. We use it for written tasks, project, and even digital portfolio. So we have here two main types of rubric: the analytical rubrics and holistical rubrics. So when we say analytical rubrics, you evaluate each criterion or part separately. You give scores and feedback for every specific skills or component. When we say holistic rubrics, you evaluate the work as a whole. You look all the criteria together and give one overall score or judgment of the quality of the work. So the answer is yes. Rubrics serve as a guide to student, so the student know exactly what to do to get a good score. Now let's not talk about electronic examination. So what is electronic examination? This is also known as computer-based assessment or computer-based test or exam. So this uses technology and computers to deliver tests to students. So we have advantages about an electronic examination. So first, we can create a full of questions. So students may get different equivalent sets of items, making assessment fair and varied. The second one, grading can be done automatically. So students get the result and feedback immediately. Third, students can take tests as many times as they want to practice and improve their performance. The fourth one, it makes easier for us to analyze results. So on the other hand, we also have a paper and pencil testing. So this is the traditional method that we are all familiar. Uses written tests or documentation to gather evidence of learning. Like for example, quizzes, long tests, examination, and written surveys. So it is simple, accessible, and easy to prepare and use. So another modern assessment tools is the electronic portfolio, or digital portfolio. So as defined by Zimmerman 2012, it is a collection of electronic evidence created, managed, and presented by student online. So it has two main purposes. So first, it showcases student abilities and achievement. The second one, it serves as a tool for self-expression and reflection. Examples is documentation, images, videos, audio files, and links to different works. So we have here a type of portfolio. First is the ideal portfolio. So it contains all the student work, useful learning and development, not for grading. So the second one is showcase or professional portfolio. This highlights the best outputs and achievements of the students. The third one, documentation portfolio. This shows growth and improvement by collecting works done over a period of time. Fourth is the learning e-portfolio. Shows not just what was learned, but also how the learning process happened. The last one is evaluation or assessment e-portfolio. Used by teachers to give grades, feedback, and monitors progress. So to sum up our discussion today, choosing the right assessment is not just about picking what is easy or available. It is about aligning our tools with our learning goals, understanding the needs of our students, and selecting methods that are fair, accurate, and useful. So whether we use traditional tools or modern technology-based ones, the main goal remains the same: to help our students learn better and help us guide them effectively. So the final question, I am happy to hear that. Thank you for your active participation and attention throughout our discussion. Now let's move on to our evaluation.